Welcome to the Precision Air Rifle channel. I've got a new toy for you. A FX Impact Mark II with a 500 millimeter 177 caliber with a Donnie FL moderator, Accutech bipod, Eagle Vision rings that are adjustable, an Eagle Vision bubble level, and an Element Optics first focal plane Helix that is dirty reticle. This rifle, I've just taken it out and shot it today. The scope just came in. I set it up and I raised the rear scope mount up about a 1/16 of an inch so I had more travel going up. So if I wanted to shoot a little farther or adjust it out a little more, I had the room. So I had to actually, when I zeroed in at 30 yards, I had to turn the scope down. And right now, it's approximately 1 3/4 down from center, from zero. I can tell you that I was a little bit hesitant putting a Element Helix first focal plane on this. I have a Element Nexus on my 22 rifle, and that scope is clear, nice to shoot with. I really like that scope, and I thought, well, I don't want to put a super expensive scope on the 177 because I'm not going to be shooting that far. If I get out to 100 yards with this rifle in 177, then it's going to be stretching its legs pretty good, and that will be with slugs. So I wanted to step down a little bit, and one of the requirements that I had was I wanted this scope to be a first focal plane scope where the reticle would get smaller and larger as I zoomed so it would match my 22 rifle. I wanted both these rifles to match so that when I switched from one rifle to the other, it felt natural in the scope. This scope, I can tell you, it's clear. It was clearer than I thought it would be. Granted, not as clear as the Nexus, but for scope in this price range, I'm definitely happy with it. The clicks are actually stiffer on this scope than they are on the Nexus. They give you a little bit more of a positive feel, which did surprise me. I was expecting the clicks on this to be mushy and soft, but they weren't. They were precise and hard. The parallax adjustment goes down to 10 yards. And what impressed me compared to other scopes is with the parallax on this one, it uses the full rotation of the knob for parallax. So when you're adjusting out, you can actually tell when you're about 35 yards with the scope. You can range find with it. It's that precise. The numbers aren't stacked on each other. With my field target rifle, I have a elliptical wheel so that I can precisely range for field target. I feel that this rifle, while not as accurate as that rifle in range finding, I could make do with this. Also, I'll be using a rangefinder. So this parallax will not be used as often as a primary source of yardage. It's sighted in fine. I put the scope mounts down got my eye relief, leveled it. When I took it out to sight it in, I had to adjust left or right, maybe at the most I'd say 8 clicks, right or left, and I don't remember which way I adjusted. I think it was left that I adjusted it. Up and down I had to adjust it quite a bit to get it to sight in at 30 yards. But let me tell you, once this rifle was sighted in at 30 yards, it would put pellet on pellet. I emptied a magazine of 38 rounds, which is another item that I got, which was a Eagle Vision 177 magazine for the Impact. This is a good magazine. All aluminum. It feeds easy, holds 38 rounds, fits the rifle great. It is a little bit more expensive than a side shot magazine, but they were out of side shot magazines, so I bought this instead, not knowing, but I'm beginning to be really impressed with Eagle Vision's products. The sight-in, once I moved it in, I was drilling 38 shots in under 5/8 of an inch, and it was a windy day today. The wind was blowing real hard, and you could see it drift your pellets a little bit. So I'm anticipating that this rifle, once it's tuned in properly, I haven't even measured the velocity on this rifle. What I did was I set the regulator to 90 pounds. I took the valve, moved it into line 3, adjusted the hammer spring in, and it's on max, but there's still room in play quite a bit. I used these adjustments because my wife's Wildcat Mark III, it was sitting at 90 pounds and it was spitting these slugs out at about 890. So this one, you could be in the 900 range. When I take it out and set all the lab radar up and really shoot a group, I'll set up the camera for you so you can be with me. We'll set the lab radar up, get some readings on it, and we'll set the target up at 30 yards, and that way you can see the groups that I'm talking about. This rifle, I think, once it's tuned in, it's going to rival my Red Wolf. And that rifle is sighted in and it shoots great if I do my part. I've been impressed with that rifle. That rifle I've lit matches with, and I've cut cards in half with that rifle. So that rifle is very accurate. And I will include a couple clips of me shooting the matches. I wish I had a clip of the card shoot, but I don't. I think this rifle can come up to that level with some effort, and that's saying a lot. I may even take this rifle to a field target match just to see what it'll do after I sight it in. I'm not too worried about it though, because I'm going more for accuracy, and I'm going, if that means bumping up the speed to 900, I know that the 13 grain JSBs shoot 850s to 870s. I don't know where this one is, so I'm guessing up around 900. but I'm mainly setting this one up so I can also shoot slugs. I do have some slugs coming in from NSA, and I've got some Griffin slugs coming in. So we're going to take a look at this rifle to see how those slugs do. I'm real excited to be sharing this with you, and I ask you to join me again when I take you outside and we do some real shooting. Thank you for joining me. I wish you the best, and see you in the next video.